back. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Talk of the Sports podcast. And I know it's been a while, but we got the full crew back. Round of applause for that. Round of applause for that.
Can't
Missed you
believe it.
guys.
Because, well, you know how long it's been? Oh man, back again.
Hey man, life this season. Life has been affecting us, and life will probably continue to affect us with because we all have plans and we do this for fun. But for all our fans and people that keep up with the podcast, we will try to get everybody on as much as possible. But of course, do bear with us when you do see one of us missing in future episodes and whatnot. We're working, we're trying. But that just makes times like these when we're able to get the full gang back together again that much more enjoyable. Before we get started, how you guys been? How was your week?
It was a good week for me. I got older, so yeah.
Oh, big facts, big facts.
We
Happy birthday,
actually
by the way.
recorded on my birthday, but I forgot
Yeah,
to mention that on my.
it, it
Sorry,
it's
related.
it's the worst episode we've ever done. But
Yikes.
It really was.
we officially have a worst episode, and it was on Shag's birthday. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't take my word for it. Go and watch it. But
Or
it is.
don't, or don't. You don't have to. That one.
You don't have to. Trust
That's
me.
the one episode you.
You don't. That's the one episode in three three seasons that I'm like, all right, this ain't it, bro.
We're not gonna speak about that episode.
But yeah, yeah. We learned there's no losses, just lessons.
There you go. There
Right.
you go.
How are
But-
you doing though?
I'm doing good, doing good. As I said, life has been lifing, I guess, with me the most out of everybody. I mean, shoot, this year was a busy one. We had the wedding. Now probably looking like we're gonna be moving out of state. All all big things to come all at once. But yeah, so of course with the move, that's gonna come with, settling down in a new location, finding a new job, new work schedule, all this fun stuff that comes with that. But majority of this is gonna be happening in the summer, so hopefully by the time next season comes around, should have something a bit more regimented for me to have like a schedule to actually share with you guys and the podcast family here. So we know what my appearances are looking like on a more stable basis, at least more stable than what this season has been. Of course, in the midst of all that, I am planning to go back to school as well. So there's a lot that has been happening and a lot that will be happening in the future. So, hey man, bear with me. That's all I ask. I promise if I'm not here, it's not because I don't want to be.
No, man. It's all part of life, man.
Big facts, big facts. But glad to hear you guys. Both of your weeks have been good. So with that, let's talk football, shall we?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna start off with Champions League because we had some pretty good matches these last couple of days. If you don't know, we are in the semis. The final four teams, winner of these matchups, winners of these matchups, will meet each other. When is the UCL final this year?
It is on May 31st.
Is it really?
Yes, Saturday, May 31st, 3 p.m.
Where is it?
In
That's
Germany.
Yeah.
Mm.
Allianz Arena.
Okay, Munich. Okay, interesting. That'll be quite the occasion.
It would be. It would be. But we'll start off with today's match. Today was a fantastic match. We had Barcelona and Inter Milan. Honestly, this match was ecstatic from the opening whistle kickoff. Inter basically scored within the first 60 seconds of the match. Marcus Thuram with a very, very impressive back flick. And then, to be honest, the floodgates opened from there, and it really was a back and forth affair between Barcelona and Inter, just showing who who could probably put together the better offensive performance because there wasn't much defense being played. in each team's defense, there was some wonder goals happening. Lamine Yamal, good God Almighty, that first goal. Well, I say first, like he scored multiple, but that goal that he scored, and it was so. I think the most impressive part of it for me was how effortlessly he looked while doing it. Dribbled through a couple defenders, opened up the smallest bit of space that you saw, and in the shot, it just looked like he just flicked his foot on it, on the side, threw the ball, and it just went around the keeper, off the post, into the back of the net. Very, very impressive stuff. Very impressive stuff. But today's match ended 3-3, and with that, I think this is wide open. Absolutely wide open. I do believe this first leg was in Inter Milan's home stadium.
No, it was at Camp Nou.
It was at Camp Nou.
Yeah.
Camp Nou. No way. Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, return leg is in Milan. Wow. Okay, so I guess kudos to Barcelona for coming out with a draw. There is no away goal rule, so they don't have to matter about that. But it would be nice if you
Yeah.
had home advantage,
Yeah.
comfortability.
I was gonna
But
say on the away rule, like I low key miss it. I don't think it's like taken away from the Champions League, but scoring 3 goals at Barcelona and not having an advantage seems really unfair. It's just like,
I mean, I hear you, but at the same time, here's the way I look at it. Now it's a more straight up affair because with the away rule, right? Each goal would be twice, so basically it would be like 6-3, right?
no, it
Or
would
is it just a final goal?
it'll be a tiebreaker.
It'll be a time. Yeah.
So
If they tie
if
two
they
two,
drew again, then Inter would go through. It wouldn't go to extra time.
Okay, just because they scored
Because
more away goals.
I guess
yeah,
that's what you want to prevent, right?
Okay,
If it was away goes, Inter just have to park the bus and they go through. Yeah, like, not concede a goal against Lamine Yamal, but yeah, but yeah, that's what they aim to prevent. Like second leg home teams just playing to reduce the amount of goals they let in. I guess it makes sense, but it is what it is.
yeah.
you gotta play to win.
Me personally, I don't miss it. I think I prefer this because it's a lot more of a straight up affair, as I mentioned before, and it does make it more of a chance that the teams and players just leave everything out there. Like you, I feel like you get a match like today's Barcelona Inter match in both legs in this new format. Whereas with the away goal, chances are you're probably getting it in one leg, and most likely the second leg, if it was a match like this where Inter scored 3 away goals, because Barcelona is going to be throwing everything and the kitchen sink at it to try and tie up the score and aggregate and force extra time. But now that it's a straight up affair, Barcelona is just this is basically 0-0. This match never
49
happened.
goals, that's
Yeah,
it. It
it's
is.
it's they're going into that return leg in Milan as 0-0, and it's basically win or go home. And I think for the most part, that's a more enjoyable way to look at it. Again, this is a take that with a grain of salt because this is an American speaking from someone who's dealt with March Madness and things like that. A lot of these one and done tournaments. So I guess that's the draw for me. I have no real downside of it. But focusing specifically on the football itself, who do you think takes it away in the return leg?
Hey, you go. You go.
I think Inter got this. I think they've already shown that they can what they can do. Um, yeah, I think the kids are starting to show up again. And what I mean by that is their experience level is starting to show up. You know, so I think that will come to bite them in Milan because that's going to be hostile territory. Those Italians don't play, especially the fans, man. So they're going to be behind Inter. Their chances going to be going. Their smoke, flares. the lights, all of it. And their banners aren't like Arsenal's banners, believe me. So, um, yeah, it'll be a fun one to watch. Like you said, Marcus, because Barcelona they have every chance in the world, but it's on Inter Milan's territory, and Inter Milan has the experience. And Lautaro Martinez was somewhat missing today. I don't think we're going to see that in Milan.
To be fair, did he really need to show up?
Yeah.
Like, like with the way Marcus Thuram
Oh my
looked
God. Yeah.
throughout the entire 90 minutes. Well,
Hmm.
not the 90 minutes, throughout the entire. I think he got substituted in the 70th minute, give or take. But throughout the entirety of the time he was on the pitch, that man was a threat. Can't count the number of times they hit the post. Granted, they hit the post. Barcelona, anyways, they hit the post a couple times too.
Yeah.
But Dumfries, oh my gosh, I don't know where this performance came off from Dumfries, but that
On fire.
with the way with like every set piece was a threat. Dumfries was in there. He was attacking every ball. He was making sure he was a nuisance for that Barcelona back line. And
And
I
it
think
was it was also sorry, it was also interesting how Inter Milan attacked at times. They would literally have like seven runners. Like there would be seven people across players across making the run.
mhm.
Just to like literally just overload. And if you would have center backs in there, you'd have CDMs and then strikers out of the wing. Like, man, I think their coach is Inzaghi, right? Very, very, very interesting way his philosophy is. Like, center backs are going and doing crosses to other center backs to score. Like, yeah, it's different.
I think he knew the way Barcelona was going to play this match. They weren't going to be playing with a lot of, fast build-up. If you I wouldn't say it was a slow build-up, but like it was like a medium build-up that they were playing. It definitely gave Inter defenders when they pushed up. For example, Dumfries was pushing up always, but
It was
there
just
was
a
there
right
was
winger.
it, but there was never a moment I felt like where he was caught out of position when Barcelona won the ball back and attacked. Now, there's a lot of factors that played into that.
The
Again,
number 31 center back on his side, like I forget what his name is. He did a great job of covering.
exactly, that's what I was about to speak to.
Yeah,
There was a lot of factors that played into it. For example, what you just brought up, the Inter players did a very good job of filling the positions when players moved up. There's also the piece of Barcelona playing at that more medium build-up game. It really wasn't fast, at least not as fast as Inter was playing, because there was a point Inter was just going back and forth,
yeah.
very, very, very quickly. And then I think the biggest thing about it was Inter were just annoying. Every time Barcelona st- got the ball back in an advantageous position, there were Inter players not letting them breathe. They were oftentimes their counterattacks were stopped and they had to, pass the ball back just to see what can build up more in terms of, you know, runs and passing options making themselves available. Um, and I say all that to say that I agree with you. I do think Inter takes this in the end, when in the return leg. From what I saw with them today, I do think offensively, excuse me, I do think offensively it's a bit of a match. That's not really an issue. They don't really have an issue there, Barcelona. But where I think Barcelona will find to have trouble in the return leg is defensively. Again, not much defense was played today. The scoreline is 3-3. But Jules Koundé did go down with an injury. We don't know how serious that's going to be. There hasn't been any reports yet, at
Hopefully
least
not too
from what
serious.
I'm looking at. Hopefully, it's not too bad, but if it is a thing where one of their best defenders is not going to be available for the return leg, that is a massive disadvantage.
Problematic.
very problematic because as you said,
So it might balance out as well because Lautaro also went off at halftime, and I haven't seen anything regarding how serious it is. But
I hear you, but I feel like that's a lot less of a concern for
Yeah,
Inter because look at the way they played today. Yes, Lautaro was out there, but like
they didn't need him.
exactly,
To be honest,
like if the play if the rest of the guys show up like they showed up today,
they went.
I think they'll just be just fine without
Yeah,
Lautaro. That
yeah.
isn't to discredit anything that Lautaro has done for them because he's
They
played a
they
huge
need him
role
for the
in their
final.
success this season.
They need him for the final.
Oh, for
If
sure, for
they
sure,
get that far, they need him.
for
But for
sure.
this matchup, like you said, bro, they play way too fast.
well, that's like assuming they do have the same type of performance again
Yeah,
against Hansi Flick and his kids. But
but they're at home.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, it's surprising that they were to do this on the road.
You're at
You would imagine it would be a lot
in
easier for them to
Milan with
muster up.
that stadium and
Uh,
that crowd. Oh
well,
man,
that was the thing for me going into this game. I really like was leaning Barcelona just because they were at home,
mhm.
and I didn't expect them to play any defense, but I did not expect Inter to go two up so quick. But
I
Barcelona,
see. That's where we differ. Looking at how Barcelona has been giving up a lot of goals this season.
yeah, they have.
So like,
you see, the difference is like Hansi Flick's kids are like they're young. They're facing this Simone Inzaghi team that has been well drilled. These are all like guys in their prime, and they all know how to play that system. They've been here before. 3 years ago, was it against Man City in the final? So it's like it's also going into this game. They lost their last two in the league, which could have basically lost them the league against Conte's Napoli as well. And I think for them, this is do or die. I do agree. They should have enough to go through. I think whatever was going on with Lautaro, hopefully not a major thing. They didn't really need it, but he was on the pitch when they scored most of their goals. So he was contributing. He was making runs. He was a factor. He just went off injured. Maybe he was injured prior to that. Who knows?
It didn't look like it was like anything like
Yeah, it
serious.
didn't. There was nothing to like show. He just didn't
He
come
could
back.
walk.
Yeah, he went off. He just
Yeah,
didn't come back onto the pitch. He just
yeah.
couldn't continue with whatever it was. So I definitely give advantage Inter, but I can't. Yamal, like, come on. Like that first goal. I know that he is. There's been a lot of comparison. Oh, is this after the Messi era? This the Lamine Yamal era? I think it is. I don't want to compare him to Messi at all. This kid is 17. Let's
so
put pressure on this kid. But this kid is phenomenal. And he has it in him to turn the game over. Like he literally already did. He can do it again. He feels no pressure. He's not going to go to Inter Milan and say, oh my God, San Siro. He's just going to play football, surrounded by all those players, dumbing the ball for Rafinha. Uh, Even the setup for Ferran Torres goals, it's all him, and he feels no pressure. And he, if they do go through, it's gonna be because of Lamine. Like I don't think Lamine Yamal, whatever he does, can be predicted. So I think it's actually more close than it might seem, even though I am leaning Inter because this is the whole team's kind of last dance. And this team has been built up over 3 years. They have the experience. The coach has been there. They, even even their coach has way more experience than Hansi Flick. Let's not forget, like Hansi Flick might be a genius, but he's only been coaching head coach for like 4 years now. I think it was before this, it was Bayern and
It was
one
Germany.
other team. And then the entirety of his career, he was like an assistant coach for Germany.
Yeah. Well, he
History.
was coach of Germany
Yeah,
before.
he was assistant. Oh yeah, he coached Germany after taking over from Joachim Low. He was his assistant. So it's like it's just like experience and this molded team versus this new young exciting team. And I won't be mad at it either way. But I'll just give Inter the slight 51% over Barcelona.
All right. Before we discuss the other the other Champions League match that took place yesterday, I just want to say one thing on Lamine Yamal. I agree with everything that you said. The kid is phenomenal. It's definitely his era. His era. That like, there's no doubt about it. But that's the thing I kind of want to focus on. It being his era. It's only going to be his era if Barcelona truly full sends and builds the team around him and make him the focal point. Because we've seen another similar situation to this. I say similar, not exact, because I believe Lamine Yamal, the way he's been playing, the way he's looked, has been better than the player I'm about to bring up. But we saw a similar case like this with Ansu Fati. And so when Ansu Fati was out there doing his thing, these were similar conversations we were having about him. And the same thing that not me, but the same thing that was said there during that time is it's really going to fall on Barcelona to really make him the focal point, build around him to really get the best out of him. And what we saw is Barcelona do everything opposite of that. So,
Hey, all they have to do is not pressure the kid. Give him what was that the give him Nico Williams, and don't put him in bubble wrap. Don't let
I
him.
mean, they signed Nico
I think
Williams. Rafinha has already said, if you sign Nico or any other forward player that can play my position, I'm out of here. And I
that's
think, yeah, what? Yeah. Um, I'll pull it up later in the thing. Or actually, let me see if I can get it up.
Hey, Rafinha is a Ballon d'Or contender, so I
I
would
don't
agree
know
with
why. I don't know why he'd be scared of a little competition, though. Like, it's a little bit of competition. I think the main thing is can they afford Nico Williams, but I'm sure they'll sell half their stadium for him. They'll do whatever they need to do to get it done. And there's also this is Hansi Flick's first year. There's absolutely no way they mess it up by not building around Yamal. It's like
that. Hansi Flick might win a treble.
fun fact: their under 19 team already won a treble. Their women's team
One, yeah.
also in line for a treble, and the men's team. So Barcelona might win the first.
Yeah, because they've won Copa already, right?
Yeah.
And I think they're in the lead.
They're
What's this?
first.
They're first.
Oh, by 4 points in La Liga.
Yeah.
4 points in La Liga.
They're in control of their destiny in that one.
Yeah, yeah. So if they do somehow make it out with the Champions League,
It could be
It
it
would
could
be
be
Hansi
great.
Flick's second treble.
Who do you win the treble with the first time?
Bayern.
Bayern?
Yeah.
Wow, the man won a treble with
Is
Yeah,
that
Bayern.
his first season too.
yes, bro?
God damn.
Yes,
He could
bro.
definitely be better than that like the quintuple. Nobody has done it. Like who has done a quintuple?
It's,
Like won everything
bro,
and
his
championship.
first season twice. That's unheard of.
Yeah, he's a genius. Like
Is this
I
wasn't wait, wait, is this is not Hansi Flick's first season as Barcelona manager?
This
yes it
season,
is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes
it
it
is.
is.
They fired Xavi last season.
Yeah, but didn't you join in the middle of last season?
Middle of last season, did he?
May 2024 to present. Yeah, this is first season.
Oh, first full season. Okay,
Full season. Yeah,
okay.
Oh,
which
so he
is just
joined at the end of
Yeah, so I'm like
like
he
right
did
at the
have.
season.
right
Okay.
at the end of last season. Like May 24th, that's like basically practically the end.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know.
Well, he might have been appointed, but did he actually start coaching? What was his
that
thing?
that too. That too.
Let me see. Yep, he didn't start his first game until August 17th, so it is a
Okay,
full season.
so yeah, it's his first year.
He had a full preseason. It
Yeah,
would make sense that his team is so came in just so polished and well developed and
I mean, I honestly, I don't think that matters. There's plenty of people who have preseasons, and what you see is what you get.
well
oh,
they are
you
not
don't what you don't get this.
they are not empty
This
flick what I'm saying. Like
they don't get a
whatever
true.
he does is clearly working.
hmm hmm All right,
Because
well,
they went down 2 goals and
They didn't phase
so
them.
whatever.
if I'm recapping, despite all these good words, none of us chose Barcelona to make it out, did we?
No, no.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that point was very very clear. We're talking all this, sweet nothings about Barcelona, but none of us chose them.
Their
I
coach.
love the story. They have a great story, great young team. They play
Yeah,
well. Like I love Yamal. I can't hate them, but Inter, I like their story better.
Okay, all right, well, we'll see what happens in the next leg next week. Moving on, we had another game that played out yesterday. A bit less exciting than today's game, as one of the teams um, was not able to score. Uh, but PSG Arsenal played yesterday. PSG took the victory 1-0. This was played at the Emirates, so the return leg is in fact back in Paris. Dembele was the sole goal scorer in the game, and honestly, probably the most likely the best player that was out there on the pitch. They played PSG had him playing in the number 9 role, but it was more of a false 9 type of role with free roam because the man was all over the pitch. There was times where he would drop deep, pick up the ball from the DM, and he would be the one, pushing the team forward, spraying balls to either wing and building up, playing part of the build up from there. In fact, that's how the goal came across. He picked up the ball from the DM, sprayed it out to the left, received the ball back just on the outside line, and one shot, one goal directly from outside the box, which gave them the lead. And Arsenal definitely had their fair share of chances, just like today, where there was a lot of, of the post being hit by both teams. In the Barca Inter match, there was a lot of post hitting, in the match between PSG and Arsenal. Um, Honestly, both teams are hitting the post pretty much. I would say it was a pretty even affair when you just look at that.
it
But
really was even.
what do you say?
No, I said it really was even. It didn't
Yeah,
seem
yeah,
like it, but
no, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But in the end, when you look at, the entirety of the game, I think it'd be safe to say that PSG, they didn't exactly dominate, but they did have more of the clear chances. So I really did not feel like it was an out of place result once the final whistle blew and PSG walked away winners from this leg. With that said, with the return leg being in Paris next week, I don't see Arsenal coming out and making their first UCL finals appearance under Arteta. I do think it is a wrap for them. Um,
So
this is
let me ask you
something.
this
What's
with
up?
that.
What's up?
Is it a successful season for that?
Sorry, Arsenal.
I'm
I am not an Arsenal fan.
I'm just asking you
Yes, yes. As
from
a
a
man,
Man City point of view, please.
from a Man City point of view,
Mhm.
I will say it like this. This is our worst season under Pep. Not only do we have the same wins domestically as Arsenal, if
My
Arsenal get knocked out of the Champions League, we will have seen a final and they would have not in our worst season
Ooh,
because we're already booked for the FA Cup final. Win or lose, we're already booked for a final. So
out.
if we go on to win it
even better.
in our worst season, we confirm top 3 UCL qualification, and then we add a trophy to our trophy case. I don't know how you can look at it, how look at this season that Arsenal puts up and say it's nothing else but a failure. I just I don't. I don't. I don't.
I'm gonna tell you right now what I told Kaz last episode. It's over. This season was a failure before it started when they didn't sign a striker. I said it. You got it.
Interesting.
It's done. Um, PSG are gonna knock them out. You cannot say there's no way. You cannot say, "Oh, we missed Partey." There's always something with them. Always an excuse. Odegaard didn't show up. Well, Odegaard always he's known for ghosting. Saka, oh, this guy didn't play well. It's like after all the hype of being Real Madrid, I think this is almost deserved the way their fans and the fans do it to themselves. I think they overstress the importance of things, and then when it comes down to it in the nitty gritty moments of the season, they always just fade away. And
Fair
yeah,
to say, sorry to interrupt, but fair to say that they are the Cowboys of the Premier League.
I think they're worse than the Cowboys because at least the Cowboys. Wait, no, they're are they worse than? Yes, I think they're worse than the Cowboys because
No, technically they've won a trophy. They've won a domestic title earlier than the Cowboys have.
Yeah,
Because I
it's
think
I
they last won in the 2002 season, right? Cowboys, I don't think they won anything past 2000. That last trophy was before the year 2000.
yeah.
So,
It's debatable though.
I would argue
It's
that
debatable though.
I would argue that the Cowboys are consistently disappointing to the point where nobody is disappointed but Cowboys fans. But Arsenal, they always believe, and I, I, I don't know. They're good enough to win, but they don't. And even the domestic titles they do have, it's not what they want as a fan base. They want a Premier League, they want a Champions League. That's what really matters to them. The same way, say with the Cowboys, they want a Super Bowl, but they don't even get close. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, um, they're done. And they're done for one major reason. Um, and Shegs, what about your boy's match rating?
oh,
Bukayo Saka against a certain Nuno Mendes. What's going on with
hey,
that?
Nuno Mendes also pocketed the man with the
Uh,
most goals and assists in a Premier League
yes.
English season. So I say it's fair. Because it's Saka, my star boy is not the only one that didn't show up that game. Let's be fair. It's not as if he
if we
was
really had
locked
to,
down. He was locked down by a superior player.
if
They're
you have to just,
also
if you just have to point to one person from that Arsenal team, it's just Gabriel Martinelli. It's Martinelli.
Why is
It's
Martinelli always being
Martinelli.
the scapegoat?
It's Mart
Saka,
scapegoat.
Saka had
Scapegoat.
the same rating as Martinelli.
Listen, and I have questions for the person who put that match rating together because whatever Saka got, Martinelli deserved to be at least 2 points lower because this is yo man man
It's CBS Sports.
nah Martinelli yesterday was something else.
yep, he was rated lower than Saka. Yeah,
So,
at least
like
this site. But
I
I
will
would
say,
I don't know. I played Odegaard more. Odegaard was a stinker, the real stinker, and he's supposed to be their captain.
fair enough, but I will say that Leandro Trossard, you proved me wrong, buddy. I didn't think that you could be this much of an important player, vital player to Arsenal. He's the only one that played well yesterday, to be honest. So
My thing is,
good job,
they need a
Leandro.
striker because there were several times. There were several times. I felt for Saka at times because Saka would want during a few times he would beat his defender. He
And
looks into the box and there's nobody there. Nobody there.
What happened
Nobody.
to Marino?
it was kept playing mid.
He's a DM and they're asking they're asking the DM
He's
to
a
go.
I mean, did you really, even if Partey wasn't injured and he played up front, it's like asking Miguel Marino week in week out to save them consistently as he's
It's
been
not
doing.
just Mikael Marino. It's
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 not.
not Mikael Marino is Declan Rice. And these are guys that you're asking to be your rock in the midfield when you know you have players running at him, especially the way Dembele was playing yesterday. Dembele was actually going down there and tussling with these guys. These same guys you're expecting to go forward when you have the ball and actually finish attacking movements. It's just
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Arsenal.
tough.
Arsenal are just always the own architects of their downfall. All of this was predicted. This is
Then
nothing new from them.
honorable mention, Desire Due.
You had a good game yesterday. You had
Wait,
a good game
another
yesterday.
thing. Are PSG also on a treble? Did they win any domestic trophies? And
Well,
this
they've
is only
already, bro, they have 30 points.
they already
30
won their
points
league.
in League N. That
Yeah,
is insane.
yeah,
Yeah, they
bro.
already won the league. But did they win any domestic?
What is their Coupe de France? I think so.
They might be on the trouble watch too.
Nah, they're in the final. The final
Oh, they're in the
for the
final.
Coupe.
Oh, so they're also on the treble. And
Yeah,
Coupe
they're
watch.
also on the treble. Yeah,
this is
they're also on the treble.
also Enrique's first season.
Yes,
No, this
they're
is
on
second.
trouble
I
watch.
know for a fact this is the second because Enrique
Is
coached
Was
Mbappe. Yes, he did. Enrique coached Mbappe.
was he?
Yes, bro.
thought it was his first. Guess I'm mistaken.
July 5th,
You said that
2023
wasn't
is when he joined.
preseason.
July 5th, 2023
Yeah,
is when he joined the team.
it is his second. Yep.
All right, he only won the league last year. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Listen, all I have to say is, and we'll move on from this topic. Well, before that, I had two things. Before I say what I really want to say, um, I just want to make sure I wrap this up correctly. So none of us believe Arsenal can make it out
No,
next week.
I
This
no.
is done.
used up my one believe in Arsenal cards against Real Madrid. It's done. I don't have any more. It's like fantasy football. It's used. That
Mm, Okay, okay, all right. Then I'll move on to because I'm in agreement with that. I'll move on to what I really wanted to ask. So, and I know this person is not part of this team anymore, but for everything that they tried to do when Mbappe was part of the team, PSG is looking like they have a real opportunity here to finally win what a competition that has just been evading them like it used to evade us City fans. Now, me personally, if you ask me, between the last remaining four teams, based off what I've seen thus far in the semi performances, I do think PSG is gonna go through and win the whole dang thing, regardless of whoever comes out of Barcelona and Inter and they see in the final. Now, the question I want to ask, if what I believe to be true ends up happening, what does that say about Mbappe? Does it say anything, or am I just making?
look, I'm the one with the anti Mbappe agenda all season, and I said this does irreparable harm to Mbappe's legacy. I don't even know what that means, but if Mbappe goes trophyless and the season he left, PSG won the Champions League, there's gonna be people saying, "Oh, maybe Mbappe was the problem," because Dembele today or yesterday he equaled Mbappe's entire Champions League goals and assists in
Did
just
he really? I missed that.
yes.
Wow.
So maybe it was Mbappe, maybe it was Messi, maybe it was Neymar, maybe it was the coaches they had, Pochettino, maybe it was Gartier that they had for one season. But it's not going to be a great look if they win the league, Champions League. But I think they will. They needed it. I
Hmm.
think the Sheik has lit fires under them. He's probably promised them some mansions, and the basement is just cash. If they win this, they're set for life. This is all they want. This is all they care about. They have a great coach, great youngish squad too, approaching their prime. They need it. They need it right now. I don't think they can miss this opportunity to win. All they have to do is get rid of Arsenal, and they're in the final. They've already won their league. They're already in the final. This could be their greatest season in their history. And to do it without Mbappe,
Okay, before I throw it to Zach, I do just want to make a comment on your coach thing. I do think you make a good point bringing up the coaches. Maybe it is the coaches, but I will say the one thing that all these managers have had in common is they've had to deal with Mbappe. The first time, the first time we're seeing Mbappe not be part of the squad. You see what's going on.
I mean, that was part of the narrative last season too. Like, I mean, this off season, in the summer, it's like dismantling this star team that's bullying coaches and getting people fired and uh, Mbappe player power, and now it's all about belief and togetherness in this young core. So there's definitely also that narrative as well. The Mbappe, he's suing them for unpaid wages that he apparently verbally agreed to forego, like 60 million, going to Real Madrid. Real Madrid really look like a real classless team right now, by the way. So that's like with what Rudiger Bellingham did after the game. Just not a good look for Mbappe.
Which
I don't see anybody saying Project Mbappe anymore. By the way, it's all Project Yamal now.
which and this is the last thing before I kick it to you, Zach. I'm surprised that Bellingham walked away without a single suspension. Meanwhile, Rudiger got suspended for 6 matches.
It's
That's what I saw. I might be wrong. Let me Google it real quick.
that's that's like the whole season.
Yeah, 6 games. 6 games.
Yeah, congratulations.
6 games.
24-25 La Liga champions. The treble is on.
Yeah, he's in Rudiger is injured. He has surgery.
Rudiger?
Yeah.
I mean,
Injured anyways?
he played the final.
Yeah, but he's injured.
How did he get
Did
injured?
he get injured in that game?
I think so, yeah. He was probably already injured, but they say he's having surgery on his foot.
I mean, if he's banned for 6 games, I would also decide to get surgery on my foot too. I mean,
Yeah.
Might as well.
might as well, might as well. Now I understand he threw something at the ref, but I'm like, there was a lot of emotions.
I think Real Madrid are such big crybabies, man. This
No,
is
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of emotions, and
like,
I do think Bellingham should have at least saw one. Just on the just for the sheer fact that you want to drive the fact home that this is unacceptable. But it's not the first time that Madrid has seen breaks this season. Uh, Shoot, and we talked about it on the last pod that I was a part of. That Mbappe red card, the fact that he only got a 1 game suspension,
yes, yes, yes.
that was incredulous. He should have seen three. Should have seen three
It's like Real
minimum.
Madrid don't know how to make up their minds up about the referees because it's obvious you guys get blatant calls sometimes, and sometimes you don't. It's like they blatantly want the refs to be in their favor every game. I don't want to compare them to anybody. Zach knows exactly who I'm talking about, but that's what Real Madrid are, the vibe they're giving off, that, oh, everybody's against me. I'm the victim. Oh, blah blah blah. We won't go to Ballon d'Or final trophy presentation. Oh, if you don't change the referee, we're not gonna play. Oh, we're not gonna show up to the final. Just shut up, Real Madrid. Like, You guys have won the most Champions League. It's not gonna kill you to just go trophyless for one season. It happens to everybody, and like that's why you're getting touched up by 17-year-old kids. Pause. But
All right. Zach, anything you want to add to this fine discussion?
Well, I disagree with everything both of y'all said. I don't think PSG is going to win it. Inter Milan is winning it. They're making
Okay,
a
that's
final
fine. That's
and they're
fine. That's
winning
fine.
it. So it proves nothing about Mbappe because Mbappe already made the Champions League final. So I don't know what y'all trying to say. Like
He did, Zach.
no
I mean,
loss.
Shegs,
I'm
COVID
like,
year, he did.
what is this? I'm like, okay, he can't make the Champions League final. He already did that. They lost fair and square, but he's already made the Champions League final with PSG. So
But the thing was, if you
and
win it without him,
and what I'm saying, no, well, what I'm saying is they haven't won it yet. If they win it, then we can have that discussion. But they haven't won it yet, and I don't think they're gonna win it this season. But just to but to put everything on Mbappe, like bro, Zlatan Ibrahimovic couldn't even make the Champions League final. Cavani, like they've been great players at PSG, and they haven't even sniffed the Champions League final.
but Mbappe is the greatest of them. That's why he's the only one to make it.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, he did his job. He gave them a chance, an opportunity to win something that they've never even been there. So,
Okay.
But
So hold on. To be fair,
I'm not gonna lie.
I do think you're being kind of harsh because during the times with, and while I do agree with you, we can wait until we see who wins to have a more, concrete discussion.
yeah.
But I do think it's a bit harsh to kind of, throw in what you said about Zlatan and Cavani because during that time, that was the most difficult time for them to actually try and make a put run for the
Why was it so
UCL.
difficult?
I mean, bro, did you see the teams that Real Madrid and Barcelona were trotting out there, bro?
Hey, man, they were great players. They won their league all the time. They
Well,
that's why you think
what
Shaq
is
calls him.
You
That's
do wait, hold on, wait,
why you think Shaq calls him
You do
McDonald's and fries too. That's what it is.
you do
Exactly.
realize that was in the midst of Real Madrid winning five in a row.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the fact that they
Was it
won
three in a
their
row? I'm sorry.
they
Was
five,
it
won
three? Was it three, five, five in? It was three in a row, five in what?
7 probably,
Yeah, 5 and 7. That sounds about
or
right.
like some 8. Yeah.
That sounds about right. Bro, that's a dynastic run.
I don't think you can blame Cavani and Ibra.
And
They are not the
they
reason they didn't
they
weren't
they
going.
tried their absolute best.
They
and
had the worst team.
they didn't even sniff they didn't even if they even came close, if they're like, oh, Real Madrid just got you there. Oh, you at least tried. They didn't even come close. So to even speak about Mbappe actually bringing them to the final,
Were they not part of that
say
remontada team?
anything, like to even say anything
Didn't
about
Mbappe throw away a 4-0
they
lead?
gotta get to the final. Oh, so you're making excuses for all these great teams that prevented Cavani and those guys, but you want to say, oh, Mbappe threw away a 4-0 lead. He's one player.
Look, all I said is it's gonna look bad on him if they win it without him.
Let's see what actually happens if they win it, but I don't think they will. And Mbappe has done nothing but do his job this year. He beat his idol's record for most goals in his first year in Real Madrid. Even in the game on Saturday, he played with an injury now. They didn't there was no spark in Real Madrid.
Let's be honest.
But what happened when Mbappe came on the pitch?
Hey, let's be honest.
So
Mbappe
you
can
can talk
serve.
about him as much as you
Look,
want. All I know
Mbappe
is what he does when he's on that pitch.
Mbappe
That's it.
himself is having a phenomenal season. He's
Thank
having
you.
a all-time season. I
Thank you.
think Real Madrid's problems are more due to their coaching because
Thank
if you
you.
see the footage of Rudiger and all of them losing it, you see Ancelotti just standing there, just backing up, just looking, raising eyebrow. Meanwhile, at the same time, you can see Hansi Flick. Well, I mean, those guys aren't superstars; they're kids. But
Wait,
Ancelotti doesn't have
hold on.
control of that locker at
Wait,
all.
hold on.
No
Wait.
control.
Wait. Hold on, wait. I agree to a certain extent. And my response to that is at what point do you expect a manager to control a madhouse? And I say that like this. I say this like this, right? You had just won the Champions League last year. You had something good going. Throughout the year, Real Madrid was putting incredible performances out on the pitch. Going into last season, you had lost your final talisman from your great years in Karim Benzema. And the biggest question was, are you going to sign a striker to replace his numbers? When it turns out that the only notable signing you made was Jude Bellingham and there was nobody coming in to replace the numbers, how are you going to get that production? Because at the end of the day, the goals is what's going to win you games. And he put out a managerial master class with the way he was able to make shift player roles, have Luka Modric and Toni Kroos play that much more importance in the middle of the park to allow Bellingham to come up and be your basically your striker from the midfield.
Well,
Then upper management, president says Mbappe is joining the team by force or by fire. Ancelotti, it's up to you to figure out how it's going to play. Meanwhile, Mbappe has told you from his time at PSG, he does not play number 9. He comes from the left, while you already have somebody by the name of Vini Jr. that that left hand is his and his alone. So like when you look at all of this just on paper, what were you expecting to happen?
I'm not sure. What was I expecting to happen? Well, I was expecting them to beat Arsenal and not lose their collective minds as an entire organization. I think this Ancelotti. There's a reason why Ancelotti is the Brazil coach on May 31st. Okay,
Apparently, bro, we're just trying to block that because
he has
they don't want to pay any exit fees.
Yeah,
he
So right now that's up in the air.
that's up in the air.
he
Yeah.
has allowed their egos to remain unchecked, and while it worked, while they kept winning, it was okay. But now that they haven't won, it's all gone to the shit. It's not good. Like his entire thing is man management, but he hasn't been that good of a man management these past few weeks that we've seen them. Not against Barcelona, not with the fits. They don't play football. They complain more. They dive more. They're
I
in the
mean,
press. They're more on social media more. It's not a good look,
no,
and
but here's the thing.
that's why he's gonna be unemployed. I'm not unemployed, but that's why he's not gonna be a Real Madrid coach next season. More than likely.
Here's the thing. I feel like with this, it's very easy to look at Ancelotti and you forget the other factors that came into play last season along with him. Like
Well,
as you said, wait, hold on. As you said, those egos are already there. Vinny Jr. has always been somebody who's not going to give 110% defensive work rate. He's always going to be somebody, especially if he feels like he was fouled or the ball was taken from him in a disadvantageous position and the referee should have given a free kick. He's going to sulk. He's going to walk back. And Ancelotti saw it that last season, and it was going to be difficult to rein him in. Instead, this is where you get the work rates from your Toni Kroos, from your Luka Modric, from the Cavani's, not Cavani's, the Edward Camavingas. There you go, the Eduardo Camavingas. I'm sorry, Camavingas, the
From Tramini.
Tuameni. There you go. The light skinned guy, the not Ceballos, the other one. I always forget his name. The guy has an endless motor. He's always running.
well, just
But,
just
Hey,
hey,
yes, Valverde. And but now and like right this season, a lot of those guys have had injuries. So boom, those guys have had injuries, so they haven't been available on the pitch to do all the extra legwork. Mind you, that's number one. Number two, Tony Cruz has left. He's retired. So a stable guy that helped that helped you stabilize that midfield and allowed guys like Jude Bellingham, Valverde to join the attack and make up for goals is missing. Okay, now rule of thumb is because Mbappe was coming and you're like, all right, we don't need that. We have Mbappe. But here it is. That's the this is the part that nobody also thinks about. Mbappe is Vinny times 10. Instead, at least Vinny will wait until he loses a ball that he thinks should have been a foul. Mbappe, if he loses the ball, period, and you don't like it, that man's sulking and he's walking back. He's not giving you any defensive work rate at all,
So
at all.
so we can agree that Ancelotti's man management failed. It crashed, right?
How can you say that's the whole point?
But
I
you
say
can't
all that.
or
You can't blame a man's man management when the
wait,
men aren't available.
wait, but his man management was not successful this season. Correct.
Okay, on the face of it, yes, you're right.
Also, why did they lose against Arsenal? It wasn't man management. What was it? It was tactics. Now, do
Our coach.
you believe that Ancelotti is the coach to lead this same Real Madrid team, this same players to compete against Hansi Flick's Barcelona?
If it was a fully healthy squad, I'd have no problem. My only issue would be the whole Mbappe Vinny situation. Because what has been consistent throughout the season is when both those guys are on the pitch, you're always at risk for a counterattack. And that's how Real Madrid has conceded majority of the goals they've conceded this season.
Well, we're just gonna have to disagree to agree because his tactics, he can't make them track back. Number one, the egos, he can't keep them in check. Number two, he doesn't have the tactics to take them to the top. He has zero control. But if you want that to continue and you want that to boil over into next season, instead of getting in a coach who can control the situation and tell them to go in position and tell them to stop whining and diving and complaining to the ref,
E,
then we
that's
just
where we
have
differ
to
because I feel
this for Real Madrid's future. And even the players would agree that Real Madrid don't have coaches for more than 3-4 years at a time.
Even
Zidane,
a coach that they
one of their
love
favorites.
and dear.
They, they
They
hounded him
turned on
out.
in
It's
three within
done.
3 years,
The
and he
cycle is
won.
over. And so everyone, what, two UCL, two
yep,
leagues, some
yep,
copas.
yep.
He
They
doesn't
turned on
have to do
Sisu.
it any
Sisu won them
more.
like three.
It's
Sisu won them three of them things, and they turned on him.
yeah,
Sisu,
it's
one of
just
their best players ever.
it's
Come
just
on, what are
time.
you gonna do to Ancelotti?
I just think the cycle is over for Ancelotti. It's just it's
Yeah,
not that he's a bad coach. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time, top five easily. But for Real Madrid right now, going to the next season, it will be very dangerous for them to keep him.
Real
If they
Madrid. The
keep
tale
him,
of
it's only going to get worse, and it will
Well,
boil
he's confirmed
well,
to be gone in the summer, so
the
there's no
tale
there's
of
no
Real Madrid
worry there. He's
coaches.
gone.
The tale of Real Madrid coaches is you either leave a hero or you stay long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's literally like every Real Madrid coach that I can remember.
And right now, I don't even blame them because we all know what type of coach Ancelotti is. But this has
Yeah,
boiled over, and it's time. It's a natural time for him to leave. Let him go coach Brazil. They will
All
love
right,
him.
all
yeah.
right. All
Let
I'm
him,
saying is when the next manager right now is looking like it's gonna be Xabi Alonso, when the
Amen.
next manager is dealing with the same issues, with these
yeah,
guys not being
Yeah,
able to,
actually,
it's the
I
same thing
disagree.
every
I
Madrid manager deals with.
because
Xabi Alonso is a
because
respected legend for them.
because
I see no reason
Ten
why he can't
Ten Hag,
do that.
because they just need someone that they listen to. Like, because everybody has someone that they will listen to. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody that they're not gonna listen to anybody. No.
Xabi
They just
listen,
need
Alonso can relate
someone
to them. He's one of their
listen,
exactly
list
that they'll
listen.
listen to. That's
I've
it.
seen
very
I've
That's how
seen
they'll
difficult
listen.
to win.
I've seen Mbappe pick managers when he was a part of PSG, like everybody says LeBron James does
Because
with
they
every
let him.
with every single NBA team that he's been a part of. And the
But
guy,
I don't
I've
think
seen
they're
the guy,
gonna
I've
let
seen
him
the
do
guy
that.
never, I've seen the guy have the same issues in terms of no defensive work rate, tracking back, just
Okay.
sulking during matches and things of that nature. Like we've seen it all.
Hey,
bro,
if you think he
So
has
bro,
a problem
Marcus,
and
look,
Mbappe picks apart every other coach, why would you let him continue picking apart this coach? Why not?
what I'm saying is, Marcus, do you know why saying things like that is not valid? Because damn near every player does it now, bro. Number one. And number two, Cristiano Ronaldo, a legend, he did it too. He
hey,
saw
well,
it.
hey
But
now,
guess what,
hey
bro?
now.
The guy has 2 World Cups, bro. You're gonna be
Cristiano was a
thinking like,
striker.
bro, or sorry, one. Well, he's been to 2 World Cups. So are you gonna tell him, bro, track back, bro, stop sulking, bro?
Listen.
More likely to Mbappe.
Listen, my thing is, you know,
Exactly. Yep.
those players.
He's gonna bang you 40 goals, but he's not gonna track back.
why
That's
would
it.
you put the two together? Is my thing.
Look, me
Yeah, that's
personally,
yeah.
You can't blame the coach, and that's my only point that I'm making. You can't blame that on the manager because there are some things that cannot be managed. A player's lack of want to show any type of defensive work rate or track back is not on the manager. That's on the player themselves.
no. That's literally the manager's job.
Could be on the manager
No,
already
bro,
because
no.
I'm literally telling you, another manager will get him to if
If
Mbappe listens.
Ancelotti can't do it, but
I'm telling you,
Somebody will.
we've seen Mbappe's career from PSG on till
because
now,
that
and
was
we've
what he
not
was
seen it.
instructed to do
We've
by
not
his
seen it.
coaches. His coaches allowed that to happen. There's absolutely no reason why Hansi Flick or Pep Guardiola becomes coach of Real Madrid and Mbappe, if he has a good
He's gonna
relationship with the
listen,
coach,
bro.
doesn't
Like
listen to the
he's going
coach.
to listen.
Okay. We'll take this, we'll put a pin in it. We'll revisit
I
it next
mean,
season. We'll revisit it next season.
wait. Let me give you this one example, and then we can. The prime example is: do we all know? Remember how Mbappe bursted out into the scene? His first World Cup. Where did he play? He wasn't striker. He was right mid. He was tracking back. I watched every single game of that World Cup. He played defense. He tracked back. He did everything. So I don't I don't know where this sentiment came up. Like Sheikh said, he was probably instructed by his coaches. Hey dog, we need you up there because you're our best scorer.
It's
So
like
maybe
Haaland.
use your
Haaland
energy
could track,
scoring goals.
but Pep
But
Bro, Luis Enrique spent
throughout that entire World Cup, he
I
played
hear
right
you.
mid. He
I
tracked
hear
back.
you.
He did his position, and he still scored goals.
I hear you. And all I will say is last season when he was with PSG, Luis Enrique said, listen, this is a team. This is not just an individual. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you
Mbappe was
to
done with
show
PSG,
to
man.
show. I'm just saying.
He
You
knew
brought
he
up
was
an
done.
example showing your point. I'm bringing an example showing mine. You know now you can't say he was done with the team. No, this is
No, he
part.
wasn't invested in the team's success anymore. So of
Okay,
course he's
so
going
he's
to.
not so he's not so what you're saying he's not invested in Real Madrid
he
success.
doesn't own Real Madrid.
He
He owned
scored
PSG.
more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo did in his first year. He's very invested in Real Madrid.
If anything, this next season, Mbappe is gonna do even more.
Even more. I
Okay,
expect him to
so
go
we'll put a pin in it.
crazy.
We'll put a pin in it. We'll revisit it next season. We'll revisit
Yes,
it next
sir.
season. No problem. We'll revisit it. We'll
Depending
revisit
on
it.
who they get as coach. I mean, if they get Xavi, man,
Oh,
now we might be cooking.
I thought you said Xavi.
I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. All right. On to the final topic of today's episode. We did go a bit over talking about other stuff, but hey, such
As
is
usual,
football. Very
Real Madrid
excited.
gets you like
Very
that.
excited things. Um, Premier League season is pretty much over. Now for
Yes,
the rest of the season, the rest of us plebeians will be trying to figure out if we qualify for Europe or not, whether that's
you go.
Europa Conference, Europa
Home
League, or
stretch.
Champions League. Um,
Inshallah. Sorry,
but
go ahead.
the as far as the 2024-2025 Premier League champions that has been decided, congratulations to Liverpool Football Club and
I'm the only one
first
celebrating. I wore Liverpool red. Man,
man, shut up. And first, not only the first season at Liverpool as manager, but his first ever season in the Premier League.
it's amazing.
Arne
Job.
Slot phenomenal job that he did this season with Liverpool. They're basically in the lead from the first match week, and they never look back. Now everybody else in the league did do their best to help them out in that regard
Yes, we
in
did.
terms of their bad performances.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even have to, say much
Yo,
for me to convince you. All you need to
yeah,
do is just go look at some of the final point totals between the battles between Klopp and Guardiola. We had a couple 90s, 180s, and then there was one season we only beat them because we were Centurions. If not for scoring 100 points, that was a surefire win for Liverpool. So, um, that being said, I'm taking nothing away from them. It was a phenomenal season they had. They had a job to do, and they went out there and did it. They
the
can't be
best part
blamed.
is they won it against Spurs.
Exactly.
I really
They
want.
can't be blamed for anybody else not doing their job, which we really did not. I'm speaking from Man City. We did not do our job at all. The first half of the season, it was a wash. We went out of
Wait.
12 matches, we
Hold
were
on,
1 and
but
11.
hold on.
1 and 11.
Hold on.
There is a team in London that is escaping here.
Wait. Before we get there, I
Go
really
ahead.
want to point out how this was a congratulations Liverpool segment, but Marcus still managed to give Man City some props. Please forget about Man
We
City.
are third in the league.
They
We
are
are
third.
third in the league.
They
Look,
are third.
I don't want to hear
I
nothing
think
from nobody.
But all right, all right. Yeah. You'll never walk alone. Good job, Liverpool. But this is about Arsenal. That's the real culprit here. Like everyone just conveniently stepped over Arsenal. Just conveniently.
look. I know that
My
Arsenal,
goodness, man. My goodness.
the media and the pundits were saying Arsenal were the favorites, but did any really
Arsenal made it look like it was a race. Wink, wink. It was never a race.
pretending? They were pretending, but did any none of us believed they could actually do it.
No,
Listen,
no.
Arsenal has. There's only one team that has drawn more matches than Arsenal in the
13
Yeah,
entire
draws.
league,
yeah,
and that's Everton.
yeah.
They have 13 draws in the season.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, they bottled another one. One is
yeah.
look. Kudos to
Wow, Nottingham Forest actually finally fell out of the top four. They do have a game in hand, but damn,
number
I wasn't
six.
expecting that.
Kudos to Arnie Slot though. Great win. Even though teams like Arsenal and the rest of us made it easier, but only two losses is still phenomenal. I'd like to give special shout outs also to Jurgen Klopp for putting this Liverpool team in position to win this. He spent 8 years at that club, almost nine. First 4 years, and this is the Liverpool that hadn't won anything, like
It all started with
barely anything. Won Champions League under Rafa Benitez, a couple League Cups, Suarez season that they nearly won, and then Club comes in. You know, one of those appointments where everything just is just a perfect marriage, and then they gave him time. They couldn't spend; they were getting outspent by Man City, even Chelsea back then.
They were getting laughed at for spending crazy amounts of money on the defender.
But at the end of
9 million.
the day, he created a dynasty with that team. At least the past 5 years, they've won everything. And for them to go into it, for him to step down, knowing that what did he say? He said he's tired, that he can't do it anymore. And for them to not sign any players and still win the league,
They signed Chiesa. All right.
did they?
I mean, they did, but Chiesa he didn't see much of the pitch. He didn't
Who?
see much of the pitch.
I just had to
So
say it.
funny. Like the narrative is they didn't sign any players, but they did sign Chiesa.
Yeah. You don't even know.
But yeah,
You wouldn't even
anyway.
notice. Yeah.
Anyways, kudos to the club for setting them up for success, even though nobody believed them. And really kudos to Arne Slot for picking it up and running with it. Like basically ran away with it. It
You
was
ran
super
wild with it.
halfway through the season. If you
Jeez.
asked me at the beginning, I would have told you that Arsenal wouldn't win it. But then Man
And then
City also, he it's still only two losses in a season, even though other people weren't as good as they usually are.
And they
And by the time the season is over, he will most likely put up a total point total that's comparable to the Jurgen Klopp years. Where they're sitting on 82 right now. There's two matches left, so you assuming they win out. They're oh no, there's 38, right? Not 36.
yeah,
Yeah,
38.
38. So there's four matches. So that's another 12. So that could be they could sit on 94 points. That's very comparable to
I
what
wouldn't
Klopp
be
and them put up.
surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if he got that many points either, because they kind of took a little stumble, but that demolishing
all they
that
want is the points right.
they just did told me, okay, they got their mojo back. So yeah,
Yeah, they're
we expect,
Liverpool are now like
yeah,
just by and far. Well, if you count trophy count, according to them, they're the most successful club in England outright. If you ask Carragher, if you count Premier Leagues more than leagues before the Premier League, is Man U. But yeah, more to your point, Marcus. 94. They finished 97 and 92 without winning the league. So them finishing at 94 could have would
And
have
the margin
would
and the
have won
margin of
them the
victory.
title two more times during those Man City years. So
Exactly. And the margin of victory is definitely the most that Liverpool has seen in
yeah.
the Premier League era. So he's definitely put out a historical season for sure.
Quick question.
Um,
Quick question. Do you guys think they will actually go out and sign people this summer that they
yes, because Darwin Nunez is gone. And that's where I was going to next. That's where I was going to next. Despite all the success that
Yeah.
Liverpool has, the biggest loser in all this is Darwin Nunez because that man proved to everybody and their grandmother that the man cannot play in a Liverpool kit.
Look,
I don't know if he can't if he's not a Premier League player. I won't go so far as to say that.
yeah,
But the man cannot play in a Liverpool kit. He puts on a Liverpool kit, it's like the man just forgets that he's been playing football all his life. I don't know. I don't know. Outside of making, the most difficult shots on the pitch, everything else he's forgotten how to do. I,
look.
Wide open
I like
goals
to.
missed.
I
Easy
like you
passes
guys.
missed. Uh,
I hope you guys don't remember, but I really believed in Darwin Nunes at some point.
yes, you
I
did. He
really
was your
did.
guy.
He was my
Yes, you,
guy. But
yeah,
hey, at least we know Nicholas Jackson is better than him. That
better.
debate is over. So I guess
Thank
I
you.
hope.
One
But
thousand percent. 1,000%.
thank you,
One
thank
thousand
you.
percent.
But
And for me, that was always the comparison that I was making. And honestly,
crazy.
the only reason I'm going back on my words is because Dar- uh, Darwin Nunes made this a very easy decision in the end. Now 2020 hindsight, because
Okay, let me
Nicholas
ask
Jackson at least is able to get on the pitch.
you. Right, right. At least, yeah,
For
true,
all the nonsense that Nicholas
true.
Jackson does when he gets on the pitch, at the end of the day, as a Chelsea manager, you're looking at the squad, looking at the bench.
We barely win games when he's not when he
Nico,
doesn't play.
come.
Yeah,
You're
He's
still
yeah.
over from winning
you
goals.
still have faith in your chest to look at Nico and say, come into the team. You're at Liverpool. You you look at the bench. You look at Darwin. I kid you not, the world could be coming to an end. Fire and brimstone everywhere. The words
Okay,
Darwin
wait.
entered his
Let me
team will
ask.
never come out of
Wait.
your mouth.
Let me ask you
Will
this,
never
Marcus.
come out of your
Let me
mouth.
ask you guys this: Darwin Nunes or Rasmus Højlund?
I was just about to say that Darwin Nunes would do a better job than Hoyland. I'm just gonna say that.
Wait, at Manchester United?
Yes, I still have that much hope.
With this same Manchester United team?
Yes,
No, impossible.
yes.
Impossible, 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 impossible.
The difference
Impossible.
is
Impossible.
Darwin would miss the crazy chances, but at least he
Listen,
gets those chances.
no, you have to understand something. You have to
It's
understand something.
non-existent.
You have to understand something. Darwin does not have the work rate that Rasmus has.
Yes, I think he does.
What? My friend, you haven't seen a recent Manchester United
Well,
match.
well,
The
sorry,
way
I'm talking
Man
about
U.
Darwin Nunes for Uruguay.
Okay.
Right?
The
Yeah,
way Man U
That's
makes
a different.
Rasmus run.
all he
That
does,
man,
he
all he
doesn't
does
like
is run and he
careless.
doesn't see a single pass doesn't see anything. Like, and they have the audacity to make graphics of the goals that he hasn't scored or his goal scoring record. I'm like, how many attempts has he actually had on goal? Like, let's be honest. The wing play at Manchester United this season has been awful. Awful. The only person that actually saw a pass to the forward line is Bruno, and that's when Bruno decides he wants to play today. If Bruno's in one of those moods, forget about it. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
But hey,
So,
congratulations to Liverpool. Happy for them.
Darwin Nunes or Azikiwe Josh Xerxes?
Who? Oh, Xerxes. Damn. Damn.
It's a
You
hard
just
one.
named two players. I still don't know what they do. So Darwin Nunes,
I'm gonna take Darwin. I'm gonna take Darwin. I'm gonna take Darwin because I don't think I think Xerxes. I think Xerxes a center attacking mid parading as a striker.
He's a 9.5.
No. Take that nine. Take that nine from his title. Take it from his title. Take it. The guy's an 8 or a 10. Simple. Like,
damn,
he's an 8 or a 10.
Is it
Simple.
0.5 now? I don't know.
No. Take anything. No. Take all that away. Take all that away. Listen, if my screen here is the pitch, this is the defensive side. This is the attacking side. Okay. Everything from here down, that's where Xerxes should be playing. We don't need to see him up here. We don't. No, we don't.
Okay, fair enough.
We
so
don't.
at least you're sensible about that.
Yeah, no. Darwin, if the going is tough, if you look at your bench and you actually are choosing between Timo Werner or Kai Havertz, Darwin's gonna make the pitch. Darwin's gonna make the pitch. It's unfortunate, but true.
Wow, I approve of that Havertz slander, but come on.
Serious.
Darwin's gonna make the pitch. Come on now.
Come on, that's a little too far.
I approve as well, but damn. I was
That's
like
a little
putting it
too
next
far.
to Timo. My God. Damn.
Wow.
Timo, man, let's end the podcast because if I start talking about Timo, I'll never stop. And with that, we've come to an end of yet another episode. If you've been rocking with us now, as always, up
Before
until
we
now.
finish, I just have one thing to say to this Cavaliers fan. Cleveland, England, New Zealand, Pacers in 7.
Pacers in what?
Yes, 7.
Okay.
You heard it.
Okay.
7.
To our podcast family, we were gonna actually discuss some American sports, and going forward, in future seasons and whatnot, we'll try to have American sports like not play a major role, but we'll discuss it, football and all that stuff because it does, we are in America, and I'm assuming there are some fans here now that with how global the NFL has been, you guys have some NFL fans, teams you follow, so we just think it'll be nice just to what's hip, and we talk about our own fandoms as well during that time. But we're trying not to have this podcast be so long, but he's really trying his best to set me off. But I will not fall for his trap. I will not fall for his trap. What I will say is tune in on for the next episode. Let me check my schedule here to see when I'm actually gonna be on again. Yeah, it's tough to say. We'll get back to you, but definitely on the next one, we're definitely gonna have a discussion because by that time, maybe one or two, maybe 3 games might have already happened in our series here because we're definitely facing each other in the next round. So we'll talk all that on the next episode. So stay tuned because that's a whole another bit of arguments that you you haven't seen yet. If you think we get really heated with football, wait until you see that. Pacers in 7. I had to slap you. But if you've been listening with us all the way up until this point, we really appreciate you, and we really appreciate all the love that we've gotten. As I said, as we stated, this is the 3rd season doing this. We started it off just for fun. Seeing our subscriber count go up, seeing our viewer count go up, seeing our likes and activity go up. And that's, much appreciated from you guys. As I said, this is something we do for fun. And we're just happy to see you guys enjoy it. So
Thank you.
keep up the likes, keep up the subscribes, share it with your friends, your family, and all that stuff. And Oh, don't be afraid to comment. Sometimes we do go into the comments to see if there's anything you guys any questions you have that you want to ask or anything like that we can just throw in here. Of course, there hasn't been much, but just letting you guys know that the option is there. If you have something that's burning
I
you,
wish. Yep.
just leave it in the comment box. We read everything. And
Let
hey,
us
you never
know.
know. Maybe you'll end up in the next podcast episode. And with that, we've truly come to an end. Hope to see you guys next week. Appreciate you. Love you. And as always, catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.